president. Hashtag go boss. Black South Asian vice president. Hashtag go boss.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Awesome broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a Thirsty Thursday. That was Vika's music. Bro, look at how obvious these motherfuckers were being. Terry Rozier might be the worst player ever.
And the meter's still running, which is still going. Oh, Rozier turned it over again, having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO, and he turned it over, turned it up. But you don't want to play with your three, especially against the Miami Heat. I can tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah, better do it. Lock down to three. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1.
What happens when you're actually asked, though? Because, like, that's crazy that the only way to ensure that you don't incur criminal penalties, the only way to make sure that you don't go to jail is if you're ass. Like, you have to prove that you are ass. Isn't that wild? That's like a wild way to clear your name. You're like, no, you don't understand. I'm ass, sir. This is actually genuine. I'm straight dookie. Your Honor, these turnovers were not deliberate. I'm just ass cheeks like that. I'm fucking buns. I'm fucking buns, Your Honor. Have you seen the way I play?
On Merrill. Rozier, a contested three is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go.
Like, some of these are not deliberate, okay? Like, that's not.
So much. Rozier
He could just be that ass, bro. Some of these don't feel like he's throwing, but I don't know. Just because those are shots you would have made. Okay, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I am nowhere near at the level of talent as the worst NBA player, and neither are you. None of us are. That's crazy. We're matching them up to the overall.
with a three. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try.
Okay, that's crazy. All right. Well, that's nah, bro. He was a serviceable player. If Pat Beg got a contract, then this guy shouldn't be in the league. You're 100% wrong here. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough, dude. I don't know enough. I don't know what happens with this investigation because it's like the current FBI. ESPN having a gambling ad when talking about it. That's awesome and also unsurprising.
It was something.
This has been one of my biggest fears. As you guys know, as someone who gambles personally, I've talked time and time again about how devastating the impact of like gambling is going to be on, you know, any society that allows it to manifest like this, because it's such a money printing operation that there is no way to get ahead of it. And I talked about this within the context of like the crypto casino stake, right? Crypto gambling casino stake went back when it was on Twitch before they got kicked off of Twitch. And then they went and they started their own platform called Kick and have never let me live that down. And I regularly talked about how impactful like sports betting is in general as well, even though there are levels to this, right? There's levels to how these things can work. But I just think that there's no safeguarding. There's no safeguards on this. It's too easy. It's too accessible. It's on your fucking phone. I don't even know if there's any interest in like actively regulating this stuff, because when you are that much of a financial powerhouse, when you're basically capable of purchasing any sort of deregulatory mechanism and capable of purchasing political power, capable of purchasing ad slots on the very same media that is supposed to be engaging in commentary, it's kind of over. It's like sports washing with Saudi Arabia, right? I have warned about this before where it's like, it doesn't matter what like Saudi Arabia has done. I think Saudi Arabia will ultimately be able to successfully change and launder their reputation through the act of sports washing because they have too much money. And you cannot overcome the intense ways that moneyed interests can win favors and win power and win influence. And if you even call it out or if you try to maintain some level of moral consistency on this stuff, you're going to get punished. You're going to get yelled at. And then people will turn around and say, oh, you're yucking everybody else's yum. And I have warned about my fears of sports betting already, and we're here. It's virtually impossible to overcome this.
It was something that leagues stayed far away from. It was something that networks like ESPN would stay far away from. Those days are obviously long behind us. You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show.
Look,
the Bussin' Boys.
Look, they're talking about a gambling ring that the FBI investigated on ESPN, and there is a literal ESPN new players bet $10, get $100 ticker ad on the bottom. Like, what are we doing?
Obviously, sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine. There is.
Did they erase the ad? Oh my God. Oh my God, brother. Just keep it on at that point, dude. Just fucking keep it on at that point. It's over. This is you. This is you. This is what you do. This is what you're about. Okay?
It's a bold line that obviously has to be drawn, but it was something that leagues stayed.
You are statistically unable to amass that kind of wealth through gambling. Wait, not you, the individual, not gamblers, but gambling companies like casinos and sports books are capable of printing unimaginable amounts of money and then take the additional revenue and like win favors, deregulate, make themselves irreplaceable with these ad placements. Because obviously you could just buy influence and buy prominence and become a normal part, like a household name, and become a normal part of everyone's existence. The problem with gambling is that it's just so, I think it feeds off of the misery of the masses. It feeds off of how desperate people are. It feeds off of capitalism. The more people feel the financial impact of existing under capitalism, the more they struggle, the more they are desperate to try and engage in some kind of escapism under the false notion that they could potentially get a leg up. One day, if they're lucky enough, they'll be able to financially succeed. And it's really interesting because, like, obviously, even if that's the starting point, it is so addictive because, not because you will win money, but because the addiction actually comes from wanting to know whether or not you won or lost. Your dopamine spikes at the moment of revelation, not after. A lot of people don't know this about gambling. They think it's about like, oh, you get addicted because you win. No, the addiction comes from not knowing whether you won or lost. The anticipation is what you get addicted to. The rush that you get, it comes from the anticipation. So it's a really, really awful addiction. Do you still gamble? Yes. But it's one of those things that I'm not like, it's one of the few things, despite having an addictive personality, it's one of the few things that I'm not like super addicted to, weirdly enough. My college guy friends talk about it so casually. It's a huge part of their social lives. It always has been. And in America, I think it started off with the fantasy football stuff. And that's the reason why DraftKings was like an entry point into sports betting, basically becoming like a normal fixture. Something innocuous for among friends for fun and for clout can turn into this behemoth that ends up dramatically altering people's lives and like ruining them. It's fucking nuts. This isn't to say that we must abolish fantasy football. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but like, it should have never been allowed to get to this level. It should always be protected, safeguarded. There should be severe restrictions on what you can do, what you can and can't do. I was talking to my cousin who's a pro poker player. It's actually fascinating that the major donors of the Republican Party are so split on this. The Adelsons want to abolish all online betting. The crypto bros are doing everything they can to pass it. Yeah, the reason why the Adelsons want to abolish all online betting is because that ruins Vegas and that ruins like physical casinos. In some ways, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would much rather require people to physically go to a casino where there are mechanisms of apprehension, where you ensure that there are limitations to who can and can't gamble and how easily they can and can't gamble. Meanwhile, all these fucking books that are in your phone basically have made it so streamlined and so easy to do. I'm not one of those guys who gives a shit about like moral degeneracy. I don't care. I think vices are fine overall, as long as the government is doing everything it can to ensure that those vices are sectioned off and have significant limitations. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, abolish all gambling. Okay. It's just not going to happen. It's the same as like, abolition doesn't work in general. It's the same with like alcohol consumption. It's bad. Sure. It's poison. I understand it. But like, there's no reason to try and like abolish it altogether. It's just not going to work. You're just going to turn it into a black market franchise. And black market franchises are less regulated and can become more dangerous, ironically enough. I want more regulation, not less. I don't think we are ready for an entire generation that was basically born into this like easy betting on your phone normalcy. I don't think we know what that's going to look like. Yeah, the betting situation is only going to get worse too with DraftKings buying out the company that does predictions bets. Oh, dude, don't worry. There's that side of the story as well. Like I said, on the illegal side, they're stamping out the competition almost, okay? Because on the legal side, the permission structure is expanding dramatically every single day. DraftKings is now, didn't they put in a bid to purchase one of the prediction markets? That's what you're talking about, right, Chatter? I saw that. I read something about that. It's fucking insane, dude.